All right, welcome. This is going to be a quick run through because it's kind of chilly today. I've been out working in the yard after being cooped up. My husband and I had a bug earlier this week, so I finally have energy to do something. So I cleaned up the garden bed here, pulled out some weeds. It looks like the lantana that's planted here, which is a perennial in Texas, is going to come back. And then I scattered just some different seeds. I'll see if I find them in the seed packet collection that I have on the table, as well as some sunflowers. Gladiolas perked up, and there's a couple other ones scattered in here. And then I also scattered some blue bonnets in here, and I didn't realize I was waiting to plant them in the spring, and thank you so much. Someone needed some attention. I didn't realize that they should really be planted in the fall, so we'll see what happens. It's kind of a learning experience. Oh, baby. Oh, good girl. So in this bed, I have my ranunculus, which are still putting out growth, but I have not seen any shoots yet. So I'm keeping my close eye on those, but they're doing well. We don't have any forecasted super low temps coming. And then in the front row, I planted a mix of tulip bulbs from Baker Creek in here. And these are just some really crazy looking, beautiful ones that I wanted to keep an eye on myself. So I put those right in the front row, and they're coming through nicely. So some over here. And then in the back row, you can see the old stalks of some iris roots that I planted as well. And every single one is different colors. Some are Dutch, some are bearded, champagne color, blue color, burgundy. So that'll be fun to see. So nothing really happening with these over here. The dianthus is still doing well, and the calendula is still doing great. I did deadhead a lot, so it's got some new blooms. I am probably going to clear these completely out. I'm going to clear this whole bed out when my dahlias come in, because this will be a dahlia bed this year. But I'm enjoying seeing the calendula. I have more. I'm just going to have to figure out where to put them. They might go where the ranunculus are after they're done. We'll see. Down here you can see these are sweet peas that I planted in the fall, and the ones guarded by the broccoli did really well when we had some cold spells, and they're putting out tendrils. So that is exciting stuff. So I will be cleaning out the broccoli soon, but the flowers are really pretty, and in case there's any pollinators around who need some nectar, I'm leaving them out there for now. That is the ginjacimi greenery, and they're actually trying to go to seed. You can see they're sprouting up there, and they're going to have little buds. So I'm going to delay that for now by just pulling that off in here, so that we can get a little bit more salad green, and then this bed will also become a dahlia bed. My tequila sunrise snapdragons still did well. They did great over the winter. And then this is going to be a dahlia bed. The back row are all dahlias, cafe au lait dahlias that I transplanted from the other spot. So those I dug up, I transplanted, and they already have some fresh sprouts. So those are looking good. On this trellis, on the other side, I plan to be I have a few options, some type of a melon on both of those, and I might do them on this side too, and just have them kind of go up around the sweet peas to fill that in. So I'm excited to see that full of leaves. There's Shelby girl. Over here was my carrot bed, which was not very successful. I'll show you what I had for carrots. The white stuff is orthine, because there's some ants in there. Unfortunately, it's the only thing that works for ants in my yard. And everything else has, I tried all the natural stuff, borax and sugar. I tried cinnamon. I tried cornmeal. I just tried everything I could find and research and stuff, and orthine's the only thing that works, so that's what I gotta do, because otherwise they find me and I get giant welts. There are some dahlias in this bed, so I'm gonna see if the tubers are still good, and I might transplant them as well. In this spot, I planted some cucumber seeds that I got from Eden Brothers. I got a gift card for them for Christmas, and these are supposed to be really good pickling cucumbers, and they're really good small spaced cucumbers. I'll show you the packet when we get back to the table. I did transplant. My tomato plants have been outside all week, and it's been really good transition because the weather's not been crazy. It's been a little drizzly, it's been a little windy, and been somewhat overcast. And it's still overcast today, so it's been a good day to transplant. So I have purple Russian tomato here, Dr. Witchy tomato back there, which the first seeds didn't sprout, so it's a second sprout. Should be okay. Otherwise, I have time to start again. That is a black cherry tomato. These are Napa Chardonnay tomatoes. Abu Rawan tomato, which I did last year, and then I have my 2 cucumelon transplants there. I have 4 eggplant transplants here, so I'm glad that I started those early because these take a long time, and I actually didn't really get a good crop this year, I think because I was late and then the weather was funky. And then in back, I planted a couple rows of mixed sunflowers, and I saved the other half of the seed so I can do another succession. And then over here, I planted some honey nut squash, and that should go up this side of this trellis. So I'm excited about that. And then these are all my bok choy and some more chijimi chai. So I'm probably going to end up sharing with coworkers because I don't think we'll use them all up by the time I need this bed. This is Chinese cabbage. It's always done pretty well. The leaves haven't looked as nice and tight as they usually do, but they're also trying to go to seed. You see the little sprout in the middle. Probably because we had a couple warmer days. So I'm actually going to pick a few leaves tonight. We're going to do tacos, and I'll chop them up as a shredded lettuce, because the texture of this cabbage is more like a butter lettuce than like a cabbage that we know in the U.S. So I'll use some of those tonight. And then here I have some more. This is going to be another tomato spot. And then I haven't decided what, but I'm going to do flowers in front, I think. So here I have Tommy Toe tomato, which I did last year, which did great. A black strawberry tomato, which is new. And these are both Sunrise Bumblebee tomatoes, which I'm excited for as well. The orange tree is looking good. The lemon tree has some buds popping up, so that looks pretty good. And then I have a couple nasturtiums here that I transplanted that are doing very well. And I have a nasturtium here. One didn't make it, one did. And it's already putting out new growth. So my lime tree's got buds on it. And I still have to, today I'm gonna pull off these kumquats and probably make marmalade to share with some other people so that this can start putting its energy into some new growth. And I replanted my green stalk. I actually took down all of the trays and fertilized everything. I took my fertilizer inside, but I fertilized with Trifecta Plus, which is from the MI Gardener. It's a great mix of bone meal, blood meal, worm castings, fish emulsion. It's got everything in it, and it's got slow and quick release fertilizer in it so that it can be used for 6 months. So that's why I fertilized all the beds that I planted in today. I fertilized, and I'll be fertilizing again in the summer when I do my fall plantings, and I'll fertilize the beds I didn't fertilize today when I plant them. So let's start at the top here. So these are some more Tequila Sunrise transplants. These are all orange hat tomatoes and one has a flower, from Baker Creek. And these are little micro tomatoes. Look at that little thing. So cute. So these are really tiny tomato plants. I just have to water everything, and then I'll be done out here. I have this row is all dianthus. So I have purple crown, in 3 spots here and out. And then I have a Sweet William in these spots. More these I planted more Chijimi Sai. This is really just an experiment to see how long they can last, how they do in the small spaces, and I'm also going to see how they do during the summer. The other ones are trying to go to seed, but they've been there a while, and supposedly they are heat tolerant as well, so I want to see how heat tolerant, because they probably don't mean Texas heat. I started some dahlia seeds and transplanted those. That's what I have here. They don't have tubers developed yet. So that's what this whole section is here, and I have a couple more down there. Those 3. Parsley's there. Parsley's here. We've been using that a ton. And then in this spot, I just put a marker to mark it, but I put another short flower, and I'll show you the picture of it. I forget the name of it. But I just put a marker between because I did 2. They're surface sow, so I just have to water. And then I cut back my milkweed. My mint is regrowing. These are store-bought scallions that were transplanted because my husband said he wanted fresh scallions, and then I think we used them once. So it was a good experiment, but these are getting ready to bloom. How cool is that? So I'm excited to see what the blooms look like, and then I'll be taking those out, and I'll figure out what I'm going to do. I'm definitely going to do basil again because we use a ton of that and make pesto and everything. Cut back about half the thyme plant, so the other half is there. And I've never seen rosemary bloom, but my rosemary is blooming. Look at those pretty purple flowers. How cute. So that's cool. And then the chives are still kind of hanging out. Just clean that part out. And I had a big ant pile there, so I took care of that. That orthene works great. They're gone in 10 minutes. I hate that it's not organic, but I gotta do what I gotta do so I don't get eaten alive. So I transplanted everything except for my pepper plants. I have a hot red cherry pepper and the Jimmy Nardello pepper, which I did in the fall, which is a sweet pepper, and you can pickle it and stuff. But these need a little bit warmer temperatures, so these are going to stay out for a little bit because they need hotter temperatures in order to sprout. And then real quick, let's see. I didn't plant any rudbeckia. These are some calendula that I have. I haven't planted those yet, so I'm still kind of figuring out where everything goes. The Space Master is the smaller cucumber plant that I got from Eden Brothers. These I planted in the flower bed alongside the house. These, let me see the height on these. Oh my goodness. These are alongside the house. These are alongside the house. It's pretty cosmos. This phlox is alongside the house as an experiment. Yar's alongside the house. That's the honey nut squash. Some dwarf sunflower seeds that I planted behind the eggplant. Teddy bear. This is the one that I planted in the green stalk. And it didn't have much in it, but it's not supposed to get that big. And I'd like to see how it does. It's just like a surface sow kind of plant where you just sprinkle along the surface. It needs light to germinate. And then you just press it in and keep it moist. These are the calendula that I'm currently growing, but I have more of those. These are the melons I did the last 2 years. And they're smaller, so those might be the ones I do along the beds by the sweet peas. These are some sugar baby watermelon seeds, and I have lemon drop watermelon, so I still have to figure out where I'm going to put those. And then I have some green beans to do. Tokyo cucumbers I'll do when I pull out the Chinese cabbage. That's where I put those. And then these are more calendula seeds for when I'm ready to start calendula. I'm not sure what I'm going to do in the green stalk because I think they'll do well there. And then I'll also have a lot of space in the herb bed once I figure out what herbs I'm going to do this year. And then last but not least, this is my carrot harvest. And just as a reference for size, that's my hand. Not very successful, so it's not all green thumbs when you're trying to figure out what you can grow. But it was a fun experiment. I think when it rains, the water gets a little bit too compacted, and that's why it took so long for them to grow, and they're not very big. But they're cute, and they're fun. I think I would have to mix, I read somebody mix vermiculite into their soil so that it stayed loose enough for the carrots, because carrots, any root vegetables need looser soil in order to be able to spread out and grow. So that is our quick tour. You ready to go inside? Yes, ma'am. So this is our start of 2022 gardening. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day. See you next time. Bye.